Hello, I'm Atlanta City Council member Andre Dickens. Census 2020 is upon us. The results of the census impact every aspect of our daily lives. Congressional representation, funding for schools, roads, and even hospitals. It's all determined by data from the census. It's just a few easy questions and will only take 10 minutes to complete. You can respond online, by phone, or by mail. ATL counts. Census 2020. Atlanta is counting on you.
This year marks the 100th anniversary of the passage of the 19th Amendment, which guarantees and protects women's constitutional right to vote. The journey to that vote was filled with countless women defiantly marching and protesting to ensure their voices were heard. Bold women like Susan B. Anthony and Frances Harper. These fearless ladies led the way so that we could go to the polls and vote for the candidates we feel are most qualified to represent us and our values. We can't take the right to vote for granted. I'm Atlanta City Council member Carla Smith, reminding you to get registered to vote. The deadline for the November 3rd election is October the 5th. Go to registertovote.sos.ga.gov. Again, registertovote.sos.ga.gov. Let us honor the memory of those who made our ability to vote possible. Don't let their efforts go in vain. Let your voice be heard. Use your power, get registered, and vote. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Atlanta City Council member Andre Dickens. For years, we have gathered together to walk and to stay healthy. Well, we're not going to let COVID-19 cancel our annual appointment. This year, the 6th annual Senior Walk and Exercise class is going virtual. Now join me Friday, October 2nd at noon for virtual exercise and activities that you can do from your own home.
7, 6.
Fitness pro Leslie Mangum will lead class with workouts catered for seniors. So go to bit.ly/Senior Walk 2020 to get registered for this free event, which will be live streamed on Zoom, Facebook, Instagram, and Atlanta Channel 26. Okay, now lace up your tennis shoes, grab your towel, grab your bottled water, and your laptop or phone, and let's get it going, seniors. I'll see you online.
So glad you could take a few moments out for Stay at Home Connect. I'm Phyllis Jackson.
The FDA plans to issue more stringent standards for emergency use authorization of a COVID-19 vaccine. Agency officials say the goal of the guidance is to provide more transparency and increase public trust. The FDA will require vaccine manufacturers to closely follow clinical trial volunteers for at least 2 months after they receive a second dose of the vaccine. FDA officials are also asking that trials identify a determined number of severe cases of COVID in those who received a placebo during the trials. Few pharmaceutical companies are expected to have these results by November. That's a drone carrying a package for delivery. Inside, an at-home COVID-19 self-collection kit. Walmart teams up with Quest Diagnostics and drone provider Drone Up to kick off the trial deliveries in North Nevada and New York next month. Kits will be delivered within a 1-mile radius of specific Walmart supercenters. There's no fee for delivery or the kit for those who elect to receive their test at home. Customers can conduct a self-administered nasal swab and then send the sample back with a prepaid shipping label. Walmart expects the results of the trial will inform how the company will use drone delivery in the future.
Antonio Brown, look at him go.
5 NFL teams face fines after their head coaches failed to wear their face masks during their games. Head coaches Sean Payton of the New Orleans Saints and John Gruden with the Las Vegas Raiders are named among the latest to be fined $100,000 apiece. Other teams facing fines for coaches who failed to adhere to the policy: the Seattle Seahawks, Denver Broncos, and the San Francisco 49ers. Halloween will take on a new look this year. The CDC posts guidelines that do not support the standard trick-or-treating events. Tradition will have to take a back seat to safety in order to protect little ones from COVID-19 transmission. The guidelines, which are split into low, moderate, and high risk, also warn against haunted houses, which could lead to screaming, another potential infection route. The safest option, the CDC suggests pumpkin carving with the family, or outside with a safe social distance, or scavenger hunts. Officials also say costume masks are no substitute for cloth masks, but warn against wearing both, saying that a cloth mask with a Halloween theme is the safer option.
School lunches, new roads, Medicaid. Did you know that funding for these and other critical services are determined by data from the census?
Atlanta City Council member CARLA Smith reminds us about Census 2020. You can register online, by phone, or by mail. The deadline is fast approaching. Go to atlcounts.org. That's atlcounts.org.
That's a wrap. We'll see you on the next edition of Stay at Home Connect.
This year marks the 100th anniversary of the passage of the 19th Amendment, which guarantees and protects women's constitutional right to vote. The journey to that vote was filled with countless women defiantly marching and protesting to ensure their voices were heard. Bold women like Susan B. Anthony and Frances Harper. These fearless ladies led the way so that we could go to the polls and vote for the candidates we feel are most qualified to represent us and our values. We can't take the right to vote for granted. I'm Atlanta City Council member CARLA Smith, reminding you to get registered to vote. The deadline for the November 3rd election is October the 5th. Go to registertovote.sos.ga.gov. Again, registertovote.sos.ga.gov. Let us honor the memory of those who made our ability to vote possible. Don't let their efforts go in vain. Let your voice be heard. Use your power, get registered, and vote. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Atlanta City Council member JOYCE SHEPERD. Did you know the United States has been counting its population since 1790? Census 2020 is fast approaching. Your participation is crucial as it helps to determine where schools, hospitals, and new homes are built, among other services. Billions of federal dollars are allocated based on census data. The questions are easy and should only take a few minutes. You can respond online, by phone, or by mail. ATL counts. Census 2020, Atlanta is counting on you.
Hey, I'm Atlanta City Council member ANDREA Dickens. For years, we have gathered together to walk and to stay healthy. Well, we're not going to let COVID-19 cancel our annual appointment. This year, the 6th annual Senior Walk and Exercise class is going virtual. Now join me Friday, October 2nd at noon for virtual exercise and activities that you can do from your own home.
7, 6.
Fitness pro Leslie Mangum will lead class with workouts catered for seniors. So go to bit.ly/Senior Walk 2020 to get registered for this free event, which will be live streamed on Zoom, Facebook, Instagram, and Atlanta Channel 26. Okay, now lace up your tennis shoes, grab your towel, grab your bottle of water, and your laptop or phone, and let's get it going, seniors. I'll see you online.
Hello, I'm Atlanta City Council President Felicia Moore. Did you know the United States has been counting its population since 1790? Census 2020 is fast approaching. Your participation is crucial as it helps to determine where schools, hospitals, and new homes are built, among other services. Billions of federal dollars are allocated based upon census data. The questions are easy, and it should only take you a few minutes. You can respond online, by phone, or by mail. ATL counts. Census 2020. Atlanta is counting on you.
Good morning. It is 9 o'clock a.m. This is Felicia Moore, President of the Atlanta City Council. Thank you for joining the Atlanta City Council special call meeting for September 30th, 2020, scheduled to begin at 9 a.m. I will officially call this meeting to order. Mr. Clerk, FORIS WEBB, if you could initiate the roll call.
President Felicia A. Moore.
Present.
Council members, Post 1 at large, Michael Julian Bond. Post 2 at large, Matt Westmoreland.
Here.
Post 3 at large, Andre Dickens.
Here.
Council District 1, Carla Smith.
Here.
Council District 2, Amir Faroki. Council District 3, Antonio Antonio Brown. Council District 4, Cleta Winslow. Council District 5, Madeline Mosby Archibald. Council District 6, Jennifer N. Hyde. Council District 7, Howard Shook.
Aye.
Council District 8, J.P. Matsakite. Council District 9, Dustin Hillis.
Here.
Council District 10, Andrea L. Boone.
Present.
Council District 11, MARCI Overstreet.
Present.
Council District 12, Joyce M. Shepard.
Present.
Quorum present, Madam President.
Thank you. I do want to recognize that I received notice that Mr. J.P. Matsakite, Ms. Jennifer I, and Ms. Natalie Archibald are not going to be present at this meeting, but we do have a quorum. So the next item on the agenda is to adopt the agenda, and I will entertain a motion.
Move to adopt the second, Overstreet.
Okay, motion by Shook, second by Overstreet to adopt the agenda. Let's open the vote on the adoption of the agenda.
Please hold. Please continue to hold. The vote is now open.
I'll call on the votes in just a minute that I don't see. For some reason, this is giving me the option to vote. I'll just hit abstain, so hopefully it's not telling me who hasn't voted. So, Ms. Winslow?
Yeah, I'm
how do you vote? Yes, I can. Could you tell me how you voted? I'm not seeing who's not voting for some reason in this this time.
Okay.
Go ahead.
In favor. I'm sorry, in favor.
Okay. Ms. Winslow in favor. Anyone else not on the system? My computer screen is not showing me who is not.
It's Boone. Overstreet. Boone.
Ms. Boone and Overstreet, are you all in the affirmative?
Yes, I am. I was the second, but for the next one. I don't have access right now.
Anyone else?
Westmoreland in favor.
Okay. Anyone else?
Dickens in favor.
Thank you, Mr. Dickens. And I'm sorry, you all, that for some reason my screen isn't showing me who has not voted. So, anyone else, just to make sure? Okay, Mr. Clerk, and we'll close the vote.
The vote is now closed. Populating votes. Ten yeas, 0 nays, Madam President.
Thank you. 10 yeas, 0 nays. The agenda is adopted. The next item on the agenda is the invocation. I would ask that everyone take a brief moment of silence and conduct the invocation in the way in which in the way you wish. So let's take a brief moment of silence for the invocation. Thank you. We now will go to E on our agenda, which is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We will now go to communications.
There is 120-C-0089, the communication from Council President Felicia A. Moore, calling a virtual special call meeting of the Atlanta City Council on Wednesday, September 30th, 2020 at 9 a.m. to consider 20-R-4424.
Okay, we will accept and file that on unanimous consent.
Which is 8 yeas, 0 nays.
I understand, Mr. Brown, are you available?
I am, Madam President.
Any other members joined us? You have that, Mr. Clerk? Go ahead.
I do. Unanimous consent would be 9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you so much. Remarks by the public?
The public may leave the comment of their concerns the day before the scheduled meeting between the hours of 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. by dialing 404-330-6001. Public comments for the special call meeting agenda shall not exceed 2 minutes.
Are there any remarks by the public? I'm sorry.
Currently, Madam President, we have no public comment.
Thank you. We'll now move for legislation for consideration. I will remind members to please make sure you personally mute your phone unless you're speaking. I believe it's coming out of the Finance Executive Committee. Vice Chair, Mr. Shook.
Thank you. Good morning. We have one agenda item. It is 20-R-4424, and I will move to bring forward a substitute.
Okay, there's a motion to bring forward a substitute. Who seconded that motion?
Westmoreland.
Westmoreland, second. Any discussion on bringing forward the substitute? Hearing none, let's open the vote on bringing forward the substitute.
Please hold. The vote is now open.
Ms. Winslow, how do you vote?
In favor?
Ms. Boone?
Yes.
Ms. Overstreet?
Affirmative.
All votes are cast.
The vote is now closed. Populating votes. Eleven yeas, 0 nays.
11 yeas, 0 nays. The substitute is before us. It's not adopted. If we can change the caption, And also, Mr. Clerk, I think we need to correct the unanimous consent number. I think you said 8 or 9, but we do actually have 11.
Duly noted.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Shook.
Yeah, thank you. This is a substitute Series 2020 supplemental pricing resolution supplementing a certain 27th supplemental bond ordinance 20-01550 adopted by the Atlanta City Council August 17 of 2020 and approved by the mayor the following day to, among other things, set forth the terms of the City of Atlanta 1 Airport General Revenue Refunding Bond Series 2020A and 2 Airport General Revenue Refunding Bond Series 2020D, and together with the Series 2020A bonds, the Series 2020 bonds within certain parameters previously established by the city, including the original aggregate principal amount, interest rates, maturity amounts, maturity dates, redemption provisions, and debt service reserve requirement with respect thereto, firm satisfaction of the additional bond test with respect to the Series 2020 bonds, ratify certain prior actions of the City Council and certain officers and agents of the city with respect to the issuance and sale of the Series 2020 bonds, ratify and approve the execution and delivery of a bond purchase agreement, ratify and approve the preparation, use, and distribution of a preliminary official statement and the execution and delivery of a final official statement in connection with the offer and sale of the Series 2020 bonds and for other related purposes. I will make a motion to approve on substitute and then recommend that we go to the Finance Department for their presentation.
Okay, there's a motion to adopt by Mr. Shook. Is there a second?
Second, Westmoreland.
Second by Westmoreland. Now we will go to Finance CFO.
Thank you, Madam President. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. And thank you guys for all taking the time to join us today. And thank you, President Moore, for your patience in allowing us to arrive at this moment. Yesterday, the city refunded $500 million of airport bonds, resulting in an all-in interest cost of 1.08%. Deputy CFO John Gaffney will walk us through the presentation, so could you unmute his line? But while you're doing that, I would like to extend my appreciation to all that supported this transaction, with a special thanks to Serena Noel and her team from the Law Department and the city's Treasury Department, led by Johnny Watson. John, if you're ready, we may proceed with the presentation.
Yes, sir. This is John Gaffney. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can. Yeah. Yes, we can.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you all for your flexibility in attending this meeting this morning. Just as a quick background, the original authorization for this bond issue was given under ordinance number 20-01550, which City Council adopted on August 17th. And under Georgia statute, the governing body must ratify the final terms and interest rate, basically, which means interest rates of each bond series before the bond purchase agreement can be delivered to the underwriter. And I'd like to just extend Roosevelt's gratitude to a few other folks that were involved in this transaction. This was a heavy lift that was done on a really tight time frame. The results were certainly worth the effort. But first, the airport team worked tirelessly to get a lot of information pulled together, and that's John Selden, his CFO, Greg Richardson, and Brian Benefield. I'd also like to thank the financial consultants from Nebraska, Juan Pittman and Ken Kushan, and Tim McNutt for all the work they put into this. Alistair Charay, the airport's feasibility consultant, did a magnificent job turning around the feasibility report for this transaction. And finally, Disclosure Counsel, Greenberg Trorig, John Wilson, and Melissa Lopez Rogers, and Bond Counsel, Doug Selby.
And with that, I will jump into the presentation. If we could put that up on the screen.
It is already up.
Okay, next page, please. As Roosevelt mentioned, there were two series of bonds that totaled over $500 million. The first was the Series A 2028 bond, $238,530,000. The non-AMT series, as well as the AMT series 2020B for $126,070,000, and they were priced yesterday on September 29th. The proceeds from the bonds will be used for the purpose of refunding the following outstanding bonds: the 2010C General Airport Revenue Bond for $338,865,000, and the 2011B series for $156,560,000. Part of the proceeds will also be used to pay the cost of issuance, which we'll see in a subsequent slide. The banking team was led by J.P. Morgan. Other banks included Stewart Williams Shank and Company, PNC Capital Markets, Rice Financial Products, Jefferies, Security Capital Brokerage, and Mesero Financial. Next slide, please. As the CFO mentioned, the transaction in total resulted in present value savings of $102 million in present value savings, and that's over the remaining 10-year life of the bond. On a percentage basis, that represented 20.2% of the outstanding bond. You can see the 2020As had a par amount of $238,530,000, and the couponing structure resulted in also a premium of $66,567,000. The 2020B series resulted in a par amount of $126,070,000, and again a premium of $30,664,000. Other funds included in the sources were on hand debt service reserve funds, as well as other funds on hand, for total sources of $349,775,000 for the Series A and $171,541,000 for the Series B. Put into escrow for Series A was $348,176,000, which carried a cost of issuance of $918,000 and an underwriter's discount of $681,000. Series B, we put into escrow $170,692,000 to pay off the outstanding bonds. That had a cost of issuance of $489,000 and an underwriter's discount of $360 million. One correction I'll note, there was a question raised last night by Councilmember Brown around the final maturity and whether we had extended it. We actually did extend the maturity by 6 months, only to coincide with the airport's fiscal year of June 30th. So there was a 6-month extension on the final maturity from 12/31/2029 to 7/1/2030. And again, there were a total of $505 million of bonds refunded, which resulted in $102 million of net present value savings, or over 20%. And the all-in interest cost that the CFO mentioned was 1.08%. Next slide, please. Slide 3 just compares the debt service from the prior bonds to the bonds we issued yesterday. And what you'll note is that there was an intentional structuring of the bonds to realize more savings up front over the 10-year life of the bonds. This was due in large part to offset the revenue declines at the airport caused by the COVID pandemic. And you'll see in fiscal 2021, we expect there'll be a savings of over $13 million. Fiscal 22, almost $49 million. Same thing in fiscal 2023, $49 million, and then another $23 million in fiscal 2024. And you'll note that there were cash flow savings in all years. Next slide, please. I'd like to just quickly review the transaction team, which included co-bond counsel of Hunt and Andrew Kurth and the Kendall Law Firm, the co-disclosure counsel, which was Greenberg, Traurig, and Riddle Schwartz. Our financial advisor was Frasca and Associates. The airport consultant, Lee Fisher. Co-underwriters counsel was Thompson Hine and Golden Holly James. And the paying agent was U.S. Bank. As I mentioned before, the underwriting team was led by J.P. Morgan. The co-senior was Siebert Williams Shank. And the co-managers were PNC Capital Markets, Rice Financial Products Company, Jeffries Security Capital Brokerage, and Nezera Financial. And any minority, women, or business enterprises noted with the asterisks. With that, I will open it up for questions about the transaction.
Council members, if you have questions, please indicate with your speaker button. Mr. Shook?
I don't have a question, but I did want to, on behalf of Ms. Hyde, who can't be with us today, just add my appreciation for the incredible hard work that produced this outstanding outcome. And I need to give a shout out to our very own Greg Richardson, who was named the 2020 Airport CFO of the Year. And so the whole world knows what we've known for a while now. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Madam President. Mr. Gaffney, I just wanted to thank you. I know yesterday we were corresponding pretty late at night, but I appreciate the clarity that you brought to this bond. I'm not sure about my colleagues, but even after reviewing the presentation Ms. Knoll sent last night, I mean, my questions were still, I still needed answers to my questions, and you provided that. So I just wanted to say thank you so much. And if there is a way moving forward, especially given the lengthiness of, you know, the bond paperwork and the agreement, if there is a way that those answers in which you gave could be summarized and provided to council outside of the presentations in which you all already present, I think it would be extremely helpful, especially given the timing between potentially when you're giving a presentation versus when the bond comes before council, and, you know, whether folks realize even what they're voting on and supporting. So I appreciate you and thank you for the opportunity. And Madam President, I'll yield back to you.
Thank you. Any other members? If not, Mr. Shook, proceed. Is there anything else from Finance Committee?
No, ma'am.
All right. So we have a motion to adopt and a second by Westmoreland. If there's no further discussion, let's open the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote?
Ms. Winslow, how do you vote?
In favor?
Ms. Boone?
Yes.
Ms. Overstreet?
Affirmative.
All votes are cast.
Madam President.
Mr. Bond? How do you vote?
My vote is yay.
All right. All votes are cast.
The vote is now closed. Populating votes. The vote is now closed. 12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. It is adopted. Thank you, Mr. Shook. So now thank you so much. We now move to general remarks. Are there any general remarks? I would like to add one in reminding everyone to please fill out their census forms. That has a huge impact on the future finances of the city to be able to serve you in the way that you want to be served, as well as who represents you and so many other things that the census impacts. If you have not completed your census form, please do that. I believe the deadline is now around the 5th of October, but we want to get it done today. So if you have not done it today, please do so. Anyone else on general remarks? All right. Seeing none, let's go to the adjourning roll call.
Today's virtual meeting was held in accordance with OPGA 50-14-1. Adjourning roll call. President Moore.
Present.
Council members Bond.
Here.
Westmoreland.
Here.
Dickens.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Baroque. Brown.
Here.
Winslow.
Present.
Archibald. Aye. Shook.
Aye.
Matsakite. Hillis.
Here.
Boone.
Present.
Overstreet.
Present.
Shepard.
Present.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. And for the public, I just want to make the announcement that the regularly scheduled Transportation Committee will start momentarily. This live stream will end, and a new one will begin with the Transportation Committee as soon as we're able to reset our electronic system. So transportation will be starting momentarily. If you are listening, this stream will end and a new one will begin for the Transportation Committee. Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Who was that?
Bond.
Okay, it's seconded. Okay, motion by Bond, second by Shook. Any discussion? Hearing none, on unanimous consent of members present, we are adjourned. Thank you all. Bye-bye.